Then one birthday began following another. Faster and faster. Each year there were more and more candles and less. Yes, I became 45. Then came 46, 47, and I stopped counting.
No wonder you get those headaches.
Thank you, darling. Martha, this is going to be a bit unpleasant. I've tried to keep it from you for some time, but now I think I'd better tell you.
I know. You don't love me anymore.
Now, darling, don't try to be funny. It's about Jack.
Now, will you please stop worrying about Jack? If he wants to stay out late, what of it? If he's ever going to have any fun, now's the time. Don't spoil it.
Martha, this is serious. Very, very serious. I just happened to learn the boy got into the clutches of a certain girl. I went to a great deal of trouble, believe me. It wasn't easy. But I managed to find out who the girl was.
You mean Peggy Nash?
Yeah. Where did you... How did you know?
Oh, I forget. Someone told me. You go to lunch and you hear things.
Well, why didn't you tell me? How can you be so placid about a thing like this?
Darling, why should I excite you? I know you so well. Certain little things get you all worked up and then you don't sleep. Then you have to take a pill and then you don't want to take a pill. Believe me, Henry, the less attention you pay to them, really these things work themselves out.
Oh, Martha, Martha. That is one of your greatest charms. After almost 25 years in New York, you're still the innocent little girl from Kansas. But fortunately, I've had experience with showgirls. And it's a father's function to save his son from the mistakes he made. If we ignore matters like this, how do you think our boy will end up?
Just like you with a girl like me.
No, darling. Never. Where would he find anybody like you? He couldn't. He won't be that lucky.
Aren't you sweet?
I have no illusions about myself. Martha, if I hadn't met you, I hate to think where I'd be right now.
Well, probably outside some stage door. Or even inside the dressing room. And having a wonderful time.
Oh, no, darling.
Come on, give me a kiss. No, let's worry about it anymore.
Martha, I just want to get your viewpoint. You think it would be a bad idea, just to be safe, if I looked up this girl and...
And what?
Well, maybe just to avoid complications, ask her to leave the boy alone. And if necessary, buy her off.
Now, Henry, don't even consider anything as foolish as that.
All right. It's just a thought. If you want me to, I'll drop it.
Good. How much did you pay the girl?
What do you mean?
Don't I know my Henry and his innocent eyes?
I beg your pardon, sir, but you told me to let you know when Mr. Jack arrived, sir. He's just come in, sir.
Thank you. You see, he's home early for the first time in weeks, and I'll tell you why. He went to the theater as usual, and she gave him his walking papers.
And the poor boy is probably all upset.
I hope he is. And Martha, don't you baby him. Don't you spoil what I've done.
Hello.
Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mother. Hello, Father.
How are you, Jack?
Fine.
You look a little depressed.
Well, me? Well, I never felt better in all my life. Besides that, I could use $100.
$100? What for?
Well, I want to throw a little party tonight. Take someone out.
Oh, I see.
Tell me, whom are you going around with these days, Jack?
Now, Martha, that's Jack's personal life, and we shouldn't pry into it. Here you are, Jack. There's your $100.
Thanks, Father.
Have a good time.
Thanks.
And I'm not interested in whom you're taking out. I'm sure she's all right. Anyway, it's none of our business whether you're taking out Mary Jones, Ellen Smith, Mitzi Glutz, or Peggy Nash.
Peggy Nash. Father, what is this? Are you trailing me? Where'd you hear that name?
I don't know. Martha, where did we hear that name?
I don't know, and don't ask me.
Well, One has friends, and yes, and one goes to lunch. Tell me, isn't she a Follies girl famous for coming down a staircase?
Well, now look, we're all grown up, aren't we?
Why, certainly.
Well, I had a crush on her.
Ah, and why not? Why shouldn't he?
I don't know, and don't ask me.
I understand she's a very attractive girl.
Oh, she is. And I took her pretty seriously.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yes, very. And then after a little time,
Yes?
I got tired of her.
Oh, well, you did, huh?
So then I faced the problem of how to get rid of her. You know, things like that aren't easy.
I should say not.
Don't ask me.
I didn't ask you. I merely made a statement. Go on, Jack.
But after all, what could she do to me? I hadn't promised her anything.
You hadn't?
I should say not. I wasn't the first romance in her life. You know, I'm no baby.
But nevertheless, you went there expecting a lot of trouble, didn't you?
Yes, but to my surprise, she was so big about the whole thing and let me off so easily.
Oh, she did, huh? Well, isn't that fortunate?
Yes. You know, she was so wonderful about the whole thing that I almost fell in love with her again.
Oh.
Oh, but it's all over now, and I'm glad of it.
And so am I.
And so am I. As a matter of fact, I never was happier in my life. And while we're on the subject, Jack, I think you're getting to the age where you should start to look around for a really nice girl.
Oh, I don't have to look around. I've met her already.
Oh, you have?
A wonderful girl. The most wonderful girl I ever met in my life.
Really? Well, isn't that nice?
Tell me, who is the young lady? Is she someone I might know? A New York girl, perhaps?
Oh, no, she comes from Philadelphia.
Oh, from Philadelphia.
Somehow Philadelphia always sounds right, doesn't it, Martha?
Yes, it does. Tell us who she is.
Yes, tell us.
Well, have you been to Earl Carroll's Vanities?
You mean this girl comes down a staircase, too?
Oh, I should say not this girl. This one slides down the banister, falls right in the orchestra, and lands bang, right on the big drum. Oh, you'll be crazy about her. Well, see you tomorrow. I have to run along.
What's the matter with that boy?
He's young, Henry. That's all. Come on, dear. It's time to go to bed.
Martha, I want to ask you something, and don't spare my feelings. Be absolutely frank.
I always am.
If you didn't know me and you saw me for the first time on the street or in a restaurant, Martha, do you think I'm getting a little heavy?
Don't let that worry you. As a matter of fact, I like it. Let me tell you something. Nearly 15 years ago, when you and Grandfather brought me back from Kansas, I still didn't feel that you really belonged to me, and only to me. I can't put my finger on anything definite, but still, whenever I wasn't with you, I was always a little uncertain and nervous about my little Casanova. And then, one day, I noticed that you began to have a little, well, just a little tummy. Then I knew I was safe. From that moment on, I knew that you were really mine, that you'd settle down. Now go to bed, darling. You've had a hard day.
Good night.
Good night, dear.
Yes, we were married 25 years. We were celebrating our silver wedding anniversary. Have you seen Mrs. Van Cleve?
No, sir. I've been in the kitchen.
Jack, is your mother upstairs?
No, I haven't seen her.
Darling, what are you doing in here all alone?
Nothing. I just want to take a little rest. After all, it's been such an exciting evening.
Nothing wrong, is it?
No, nothing.
Are you sure?
Yes, dear.
You're feeling all right, aren't you?
Of course, darling. I'm just...
Just what?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was being a little sentimental, so I came in here for a few minutes.
Yes. This is where it all started.
25 years ago.
Yes, I was standing over there by that desk.
No, you were sitting in the chair.
then you came in and you stood by the desk.
Then suddenly you started walking toward me. Very slowly, very slowly. I could count every step.
Oh, you were such a frightened little girl, and the closer I came, the more frightened you were.
Darling, I want to make a confession. After all, we've been married 25 years.
What is it?
I wasn't frightened at all.
You weren't?
Not at all. And when you were walking toward me so very slowly, do you know what was in my mind?
No.
I thought, what's the matter with him? Can't he walk faster? And then I ran out into the hall.
But you came back?
Only because I had to sneeze.
I beg your pardon, madam. You're wanted on the telephone.
Hello? Yes, I called you. Well, it's really not important. Yes, everything is all right now. I'll call you soon. All right, tomorrow.
Who was that?
Oh, nothing special. Let's go back to our guest, shall we?
Darling, who was that on the phone?
I'll tell you all about it some other time.
Why not now?
Sweetheart, our guests will be wondering where we are.
Now, Martha, who was that?
All right, I'll tell you. It's another confession. My lover.
I don't think that's funny at all.
Are you jealous?
Oh, don't be silly, Martha. But why can't you tell your husband whom you talked to over the telephone? Besides, I wouldn't have brought it up right now, but just the same, for the past several weeks, you've been going out in the afternoons, and you've always managed to avoid telling me where you were.
You are jealous. Henry, at last, after 25 years. Thank you, darling.
Martha, whom did you talk to?
Darling, don't be a baby. What dashing young cavalier would be pursuing me?
Plenty. You're still very attractive, and you know it.
Henry, I don't think you realize how sweet you're being at this moment. No husband could have said anything lovelier to his wife on their 25th anniversary. Imagine if 25 years ago I hadn't sneezed. I wouldn't be the happiest woman in the world right now.
Are you?
Yes, Henry.
Now, who was it?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
I am not going to leave this room until you tell me.
Well, knowing my obstinate little boy, you promise to be sensible and not make a mountain out of a molehill?
I promise. Now.
Well, you know how women are. We have too much time on our hands, and we begin to imagine that there are things wrong with us. And I'm no exception, so I've been going to a doctor, that's all.
Darling, I feel like a fool. Now, I have a confession I must make to you. I really was jealous. Martha, what did you go to the doctor for? What's wrong?
Nothing, really.
Oh, so that's why you came in this room. You weren't feeling well. Darling, is it serious?
I tell you, it's nothing at all. Just a little dizzy spell.
Darling.
Now, you promise to be sensible. Come on, let's dance.
Martha, what did the doctors say?
Listen, dear, if I take 5 drops 3 times a day, and if you don't worry about me too much, we'll both live to celebrate our golden anniversary. Now, come on, let's dance.
I didn't know it then, but this was our last anniversary. It was the last time we danced together. There were only a few more months left for Martha, and she made them the happiest of our lives together.